Yeah, that's it. Last time I was proclaiming me as a Zionist. I want to go deeper into to be a Jew. To be a Jew. Let me just do some exploring. Jew. To be a Jew. I heard let me translate that. I think this is more more perfect. Yehudi. And I wanted to talk a little bit about a certain topic, which is what inspired me. Let me. This is the word or expression in vocal, the name of God. I just wanted to deep seek that because it is kind of important for my topic of today. We can put it up here and see how it goes. And it's kind of interesting that in their not view, but in their recognition of to be a Yehudi, a Jew, is to internally bear the name of God. I listen to this rabbi every so often, and just occasionally heard about what is the significance of the word Jew. And of course I am a limited entity to take such task. I got a good response on that I'm a Zionist. Thank you for that. I'm just talking easily about it. I'm not so profound scholar to do this, so I just do the small talk here, and it's this have been provoking me quite a bit, that the Christians say that they are the spiritual Israel. They are even further on, the Jehovah's Witness, as if they were the Jews. Jehovah, they are the new Jew. who carry the Word of God, even their Bible is altered. It's inspired by some mythological, spiritual thing. So I think that bears some kind of a confession that we are just hoax. As the Muslims state that the Quran is the true word of God, yet it is altered. It's in different versions, about 30 versions, and intrinsic self-contradictory, 90,000 of them. So it's if you are in denial, you will of course state that the Quran is as the word of God. Yet it takes the Bible. The root of the Quran is the Bible, so it has changed everything. For example, Ismail is Isaac and the promised son. How can they change it into that? But back to the topic of today. Yehudi, that's a Jew. It in Hebrew. Let me see. Let me see how that is going, because I'm a little bit drifting here. Yehudi. Let me see if I can change this to this. This is the Hebrew version. Right, wrong, but it's okay. I think the DeepSeek seems to be understandable for mistakes. I do. While I'm doing this, let me pinpoint this. You see, I don't know how to translate, but most of the letters from Yehudi is in Yahweh. It's in Yahweh. So this is how it is written. And you see the first letter. You start from the right and go to the left. So you have more or less the same initials for to be a Jew and Yahweh. So why is it so that Jews have been hated throughout the whole time? That's a real good question. It's a kind of this forever question that no one really seems to have any answer to. They talk about that people are xenophobic. That can be true. I am not disputing that. But I don't think that it gives any meaning. It is xenophobic when you pinpoint a certain people to be hatred of Jews. Of course, there is no doubt about that. But when a people bears, I don't know how to put it out in the terms I would like Ephraim to do that for me. But when the people, we call it God's chosen people, it carries the God's name internally in its own construction of letters. People seem to have the similar hate for the notion of God, and they have for Israel, the Jews. The atheism developed in Europe, and seemingly so did the hatred for Jews. And in the old times, because the Jews were the people of the book, seemed to be hatred and jealousy for that certain people, because they were enlightened. And many atheists and leftists will say that you can't be enlightened by reading the Bible. Well, if you read Job, for example, if you read the prophets, for example, and if you read the 5 first books in the Bible, the Torah, you will be educated. You will see how God constructed everything by His word. There's much more to this than meets the eye, so to say. And I think that when a people so profoundly, seemingly that they are God's chosen people, they didn't choose God, or they didn't choose to be the promised people. No, that you can't. That is a screwed up mentality. The chosen, the word and decision to choose these people was not by the Jews, it is by God. So you can't blame God, you can't blame in fact anyone, because if you don't regard God as anything, then you can nullify the whole notion of God's chosen people. So how dare you dispute what you don't believe? It's just a conundrum. So I thought of this after I heard Ephraim speaking about Jews. How they carry internally, by being a Jew, they are stamped, they are labeled, they are engraved of God. God shows them Yehuda. That's the promise, that is the inscription. And when people know back in those years that those people are smart people, they have always been smart. They have been smarter than most of the people throughout ages. Yes, because they are enlightened. Because they can read. You become smart when you can read. You become smart when you have the vocabulary for things that maybe not been aware of anywhere else. The vocabulary is a pathway to more knowledge. If you have words for defining certain things, you have the vocabulary. And it's just a self-confirming drive or process. So the deep hatred for these people haven't in fact changed so much. Yes, because they are Jews, they are hated. Because there is a division in every man. I would lean on that. There is a spiritual. And I talk about spirit, and people like leftists doesn't really follow me. Well, I don't expect that either. It's kind of, how low can you be? But when you have an internalized drive, we can talk about spirit. So when people like Jews are hated, there must be some more to that hate, and you can only talk about. The hatred of Jews is even in Japan. There is not many Jews there, but still they hate Jews. Even in Norway, they declare that no Jews are allowed here. They hated the Jews. They were picked out not to be invited. That's how long that goes. Even without Jews, you will hate Jews. This how stupid, how gross, how immoral can people be when this is happening? That's a pity. That's a pity. So I think that the denial of God, because I know that many people, even atheists, support the state of Israel, just of pure humanitarian reasons, juridical reasons. And I met a lady in town that said, I don't think anyone would defend Israel because they don't know the Bible, they don't know the Word of God. They don't believe the Word of God. I would dispute that, and I disputed it for her, that even the atheists support Israel. Many does that. And just out of legality, just out of the human rights. But the really hatred is denying Jews their human belonging. Is this hate and villainization, demonization of them that makes them not human? How come a modern man in 2024 could spew out this? If you go to a killing spree of Jews, you will fulfill the idea of doing the world a service. How can that be? They have no relationship with the Jews. No. And many Jews are silenced. They are afraid. They don't turn so much around and speak out on their own behalf. They should. But if they don't, I will. And I will do it anyhow. Because the hatred of Jews is so globalized. Today, when you have these social media, mainstream media, that is spewing out hatred and lies, because there are different drives, there are different agendas to this. So I think the main core of hatred for Jews is that the Jews bear in its own definition the name of God, Yahweh. Yehudi have the same letters as Yahweh. YYHWH. That's a big thing. And it's not only a human relationship thing, it's also a spiritual relationship thing. The first Christians and Christians have been slaughtered for believing in God, the same God that Jews believe in. What happened in the old Soviet Union? Christians and Jews were persecuted. Jews for being Jews, only pure that. The Christians for being Christians, pure that. Believing in something other than communism, socialism, and all those ideology that people get hanged up on. There are many good ideas out there. But the problem with every kind of belief or ideology is that it will be politicized. It will be owned by people. It is misused by people. When you have some dogma of any idea, you try to pursue, and not only for your own belief or free will, but you try to pursue that dogma into implementing every aspects of that dogma into the society, and that no one else is accepted for believing in other things than this dogma. Those that diverge from that seems to be out of order. And Israel and Jews are exactly the polar opposite. And they say that a Jew can believe in no God or one God. It's interesting because there is only one God. But if you don't believe in one God, you still can be a Jew, because you bear the name of God. You can't, if the Jews think that they are liberated to not believe in God, they have the inscription of being a Jew. They are gened to be the children of God. The Jews, some Jews make Christians a little bit comedian, because Jesus said that he was the Son of God. and there are many examples that God claims every Israeli is sons of God. So it's just who they are. And to bless Israel gives blessing. It is a profound, intrinsic, good thing to bless Israel, because you don't claim any dogma to be followed by other than yourself. And God can't be dictated. You can't dictate God. Even people like priests and those that are so-called men of God have tried to manipulate people into believing in shit. And that they are right. No. God is absence in a profound way. God is appearing when we are following the justice of God, the 10 commandments, when we are serving, giving praise to God, God comes down and blesses the whole nations. So in the end we will have to worship and give God's name praise. And the Jews will be the servant of that. They are serving the whole world by now. They are the spiritual belonging, because their name is within Yahweh, Yehovah. So that I found interesting as a topic today. I think that if you soul search yourself, go into how or why you hate the Jews, go into the spirit realm and see, are you leveled in a way? Are you in conjunction, or are you connected to God in any way? And if you claim that you are connected to God, higher spirit, and that leads you to hate of Israel, you may find faults in Israel. You may find that if you want. Every people here is faulty, but in God's eye, there is no fault in Israel. There should be no judgment from other nations to that nation. Still they are judging them by slaughtering them, doing the God's work, as they would say. I'm sorry to say that Christians have been a splitted personality, out of level, out of focus, out of order, haunting the Jews, betraying the Jews. It's betraying God. Not that all Jews are godly, no. But they are profoundly they don't like war. They hate war. Many Jews have said to me when I am in Israel, we hate war, we hate it, but we have to learn it in order to overcome. So this is how they deal with it, and I think that God is still keeping his promises to this nation. All what we people can do is to be a witness of God's greatness by rising up this nation to fulfill his prophecies to this nation. Even though we may disagree in many things, still there is no big issues about this, because we need to be coherent. We need to be coherent. We need to be educated and learn. So I've been doing this cleaning today, much needed, and I think we need to clean out the anti-Semitism and the anti-Zionistic and anti-Israeli attitude. We need to worship God again. We need to come back in order, so we can be all servants of God. We can all be prophets, speaking out to truth, against lies, against deceptions. Be straight forward to God as Israel means. Shalom.